Miss Naomi Osaka has made a huge sacrifice by stepping away from the money, bowing out of the French Open, and that she has nothing but my respect for her. For that decision, she has nothing but my respect. I heard the word integrity being thrown around, and this young lady has integrity. Miss Osaka has always been a silent protester. She has these face masks with different black people that have been killed unjustly by police officers. So she has always shown guts. And she showed a lot of guts when she stepped away from the money, because that is something that I've seen many black people not do. Remember Steve Harvey? And this young lady, I mean, she may not need my support, but I wholeheartedly support this young lady and her decision. And I think that more black athletes should follow suit. Black athletes are the ones that people are coming to see. Without Miss Osaka in French Open, I mean, who's going to watch? She was the main attraction. And black people are the main attraction, whether it's in tennis, basketball, football, track. Black people are the top-notch athletes. And that's not being racist. Look at the evidence. So it is time for us as a people to start taking a stance. What good is the money when you cannot really make moves with the money? When they can find some type of way to separate you from that money. Frivolous lawsuits, make you tie your money up in lawyer fees. They have ways to separate you from that money. And I'm just thankful for all the black people in the past that made that sacrifice. Hey man, it's not about the money. It's about us as a people, getting our respect. We are black, as black people, we are not respected. I can understand why Miss Osaka doesn't want to do those interviews, because it's a bunch of questions that they are deemed to piss you off. That's why I don't understand why black people always want to rush to the microphone. And they want to try to stir up mess between you and other athletes. Try to get you to say something that's derogatory about another athlete. Never nothing about the sport and the struggles that you had to make to be in the position that you are in, which is the top-notch spot. And people hate to read books and try to find out exactly what's going on. And why did the athletes back in the 60s and 70s, why did they protest? I mean, what was their gripe? The same things that are going on today. But the sad part of it is that you have a lot of black people, man, who just, like they say, the go along to get along game. And they'll do anything just to get that bag. So it's just time for black athletes to take a stance. It is time for all black athletes collectively to take a stance. Say, man, look, I mean, we're tired of protesting and talking about it, and maybe we should just step away from you and your game, since you seem as if that you are powerless to make changes, that you are powerless to stop this onslaught of racism and murder. So I might as well just go home. A lot of these coon athletes, they just trips me out. They think that people really love them. It's what you do. They love you because you're running fast. They love you because you're strong. They love you because you can jump high. They love the power that you display on the field. But they don't love you, the person. And that's why I say I appreciate people like Miss Naomi and the freedom fighters back in the 60s and 70s that took their stance, because they were not listening to the people on the streets. We don't have the platform. But everyone is looking at the athletes. And the athletes are our mouthpiece. The guys that you see that are athletes, that are the top dollar, highest paid millionaire athletes, if they weren't athletes, you know where they would be. In prison. Like the rest of the guys I went to school with that were great athletes. All black people have to do, the athletes, step away for a minute. That'll hurt their pockets. Because who's going to come in the arena to see a bunch of those bums? And if the people would stop supporting these sponsors, stop spending money with them, and start sending letters, hey man, we don't like what's going on. And until you change, we're just not going to spend money with you. We would see some changes. You know, when I look back on those days when you had Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when these people were doing what they're doing, you, just like today, you had a lot of them bootlegs and coons that did not support him. But now years later, you had people pretending as if they were all on the train when they wasn't. And when you think about the sacrifices that all of these athletes have made, who did they make the sacrifice for? For themselves or for the people? It was for the people. But these people that's talking about getting the money and getting the bag, who is the bag for? For the people or for themselves? So I hear a lot of people say, oh man, they just doing that, man, because that man got to feed his family. Well, these people got to feed their families too. But they're thinking about all black families, not just their family. We as people, we have to do a better job of supporting people that make these sacrifices for us. Because like I said, I was living in those days of the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X. And black people did not support them. They talked against them. All them niggas gonna get killed. All them niggas crazy. And like I said, now the man did, they want to act like all Martin Luther King, they weren't talking like that during his days. And life is like a cycle. I hate that. I hate that part, because it's always the young people that are tired of the mess. And they just got here, age-wise. And the old people, I don't know what happened to the old people. Somewhere along the line, they turn coonish. And that go along to get along, I'm going to take this abuse just to get in. Hey man, everybody ain't like Jackie Robinson. The athletes should be watching to see exactly what type of charges are going to be brought upon these different fans that step over the line. And if these people get light charges, the very next time one of those fans get out of line, the athletes should just step away. So now, we're not going to come into your stands, to your games, and your arenas, because you can't control your fans. You can't control the people that come into these games. And it's like we are some type of punching bags, and we are not punching bags, we are not animals. See, what black people always protest and complain about is accountability. There should be some type of accountability for people's actions. You don't see things like this happening to white athletes. It's always to the black athletes. And people do it because there is no repercussion for doing it. Slaps on the wrist. No accountability. The same thing with these cops. When people do the things that cops do, people go to jail. But it's like this different sets of rules. And black people, we are fed up with it, and we just had it up to here. And I'm quite sure the black athletes have had it up to here because we all hear the stories. And I'm quite sure all the black athletes have heard how the former athletes were treated when they went to certain arenas, and how nothing actually happened to those fans for doing it. They somewhere laughing and telling their grandchildren about what they did when they went to this game and spit on some black person. Lately, there's been an attack on former black athletes, talking about how sorry they were and all this type of talk. But you never hear them talk about the sorry white athletes. I mean, there were a ton of them. I mean, this guy here, they picked him. This guy said that Sean Bradley, that he didn't want to do no workouts. He just want to automatically make the team. They did. Paid this man millions of dollars, and he ain't nothing but a damn scrub. Chuck Nevitt, the Whopper, Billy Pauls, all these sorry scrubs, they never talk about them. But these paid bootlicks and coons, like Stephen A. Smith, they want to talk bad about the black athletes who really wasn't given a chance and the opportunity, because these coaches can set you up to make you look bad. Black people ought to be tired of being used. I mean, they use you for every type of thing that they want, and then after they get it, you get nothing. They use a lot of those black athletes and these different personalities to push the vote. You ain't black if you ain't voting. And you're black and you're voting, and what you get? Nothing. These different personalities bringing Joe Biden on the show. And you are being used because don't nobody want to listen to Joe Biden, so you're going to come onto a platform where a lot of black people are, so you don't have no choice but to listen to him. And hey, man, you black people ought to stop allowing that type of shit to happen. Stop being used like that. You ought to have some type of pride within yourself. I don't understand how these people can go to sleep. I guess y'all get drunk and high every night, because I know you find it difficult to rest well at night. The next time this voting jive come around and some black person come to me talking about somebody died to vote, I am going to slap the hell out of them. I'm going to slap the hell out of them. Because did nobody die to vote? Black people voted because they wanted change. It wasn't about the right to vote. And then when black people they gave us the rights to vote, what the hell changed? And I'm quite sure you had more black people voting back then than you had now, because everybody was on it then. But now that people have become aware that the voting is a sham, and hey man, I don't even want to participate in it, you want to talk down on me because I don't want to participate. But your participation is like letting these people know that the sham is still working. Look at them niggas still voting. And when it comes to praying, I'm all about praying because I feel as if prayer is necessary. But after you pray, you don't just supposed to wipe your knees off and go on home. It's a job you have to do after you pray. And that's the problem with a lot of these people who want to promote prayer and religion, all this type of stuff. They're not going to do nothing. They're going to pray for somebody else to do it. People like that, they want God himself to come down personally and to solve all these problems, when God has given you the mind and the ability to solve these problems yourself. Now that Miss Osaka has made the decision to bow out, these people want to say that, oh, she's having mental issues. In other words, if they don't talk to us, you got to be crazy. You know, they are very quiet about this. I mean, they're not reporting this incident much, and I haven't heard too much support coming from black athletes. All black athletes should support Naomi Osaka, because today is Naomi Osaka and tomorrow it just can't be you.